Hey folks, it's Brian at Champlain Chevrolet, and I'm here to introduce the most exciting, newest service that we have at the dealership for 2021, Extreme Undercoating. So some may ask, why did we get into undercoating? Why do we want to do this? It's very simple. I've been in this car business my whole life. I've been in Northern Vermont my whole life. Let's face it, you see it, I see it. How many times has there been rust in your rocker panels? How many times do you see a pickup truck, 3, 4, 5 years old with rust over the rear wheel wells? The tailgate rusted out. And what's worse yet that I have to see is people that come into our dealership day in and day out for a state inspection and they can't get past because of rust from brine, salt, dirt roads, and every other element that we have in Northern Vermont that's tough on these cars. That's why we got in this business. So folks, let's talk about where the most rust prone areas are. On a truck, an SUV, it's the frame, it's the underneath, it's where the salt, the brine, the dirt roads are beating the heck out of your car. As we look in here, this truck is only a couple of years old. It's been very well cared for, but you can't help it up here in Northern Vermont. And if you look at the sides of these frame rails and you see the original coatings are gone, it's flaked down, it's starting to rust. Now this truck is still good and solid, and we're gonna catch this one just in time. But what you don't see is as you go down underneath the vehicle and you get in here a little bit deeper, it gets even worse. Okay, now we've moved on to the other side. Same truck, we're halfway through the process and we want to show you how good this works. So here you are, this is cured for about an hour. We're gonna wait another 3 to make sure it's good and solid and hard. We've hit this one, we've cleaned the frame. And if you look down the sides of this frame, this looks like a brand new vehicle. Unbelievable, it's a heck of a product. It gets in, it wicks into the welds, it goes in the cracks. And you know what, when it's all said and done, it's got that nice satin black finish like it was the day it was new. Folks, we couldn't sell this to you if we didn't show you what it's really all about. So we're peeking in underneath the vehicle right now. This happens to be a truck, and we want to show you what it really does after 3 or 4 years of driving around in Northern Vermont with the salt, the sand, and the brine, and everything that's going on under these cars. You'll notice all that nice, shiny black coating that was on there. Now, look at it. This is what we do. We pressure wash this, we clean it. We make this just like it was back at the factory before we use our special coatings on there. And we just had to show you, when we get in here, we get in deep. Here we are, back underneath the vehicle, 3 years of Vermont. I want to show you, this is the same truck. We've been halfway through it. We've done the left side. The right side's still original. We're going to do it in a minute. But just look at this, folks, huh? Now, this one's pretty good. Like I told you, this one's been serviced. It's been coated. A lot of people squirt some WD-40 and stuff on this. This guy knew what he was doing. He took the best care of this he could. But let's face it, there's still a lot of brown here. There's still a lot of stuff going on. There's still some danger coming down the road. We move over to this side. Here's the divider right here. Look at this. Right back to the way it came off the assembly line. Beautiful stuff. Let's move on to the back of the vehicle. We're going to talk about this Silverado again. I'm not prejudiced. I don't care what truck it is. I don't care what brand it is. You know what I see a lot of times? I see what I like to call the can of mystery goo. Somebody goes somewhere to a store, they buy this off the shelf somewhere, and then we see it, they start coming in here and squirting this stuff around here, thinking they're going to save the world. That's not where it's at. Throw the garbage away. You want the right product. You want what we have. We get inside these tailgates. Let's face it, you don't think a tailgate rust? Next time you're in traffic and you're parked behind a 4, 5, 6-year-old vehicle, look above that bumper and you tell me that bottom 2, 3 inches isn't starting to rust. They all do it. We get inside there, we fill it up, and we fill that thing till it starts to run out the weep holes in the bottom. We have got your tailgate figured out. Let's talk about box sides. Of the whole vehicle, this is the place where you see the rust the most. Let's face it, every single one of them around these stupid back wheel wells, that's where the rust starts. The reason is, the water gets in there, the salt gets in there, the brine gets in there. It's a double panel. It gets in, it sits there, it never gets flushed out. Every time you drive in the rain, it gets that wet in there. It starts the rust process again. How many times you go down the road, you see a truck, somebody sticks those god-awful black wheel flares on there that look horrible to cover up some rust because it's expensive to change that. We know it's expensive. That's why we came out with this product. That's why we have this service. We have the tools. We have a wand with a 360-degree sprayer on the end. We get this up inside of here. We start here and we coat that whole wheel well in there. And on top of that, we get up inside the box. We come down from the top all the way through here. When you look up under here, when we're done, you're going to see that this whole panel has been coated. If you get this service done when your vehicle is brand new, you couldn't have better protection. All right, here's another section. Let's talk about the sheet metal that you can't do anything about until it's too late. Rocker panels. Every truck, SUV, car, it's always right here that you see. And you never know it until you see a hole, right? Big hole you can stick your finger in. Bottom of the doors. This is where your doors rot out. Have any of you ever seen a hole start in the middle of your door? No, you don't, because it doesn't rust there. It rusts here. So what's our solution for that? Right here. This is a wax paraffin coating that we fill these with. I just did the doors. We just did the rockers. It's running out in all these little weep holes. Right there, folks. We're proving what we're doing. You can't miss this. Get it in there. We fill it up. We let it run out for a little bit, and you're not going to have any more rusted out doors or rockers. So folks, there you have it. Extreme Undercoating by Champlain Chevrolet. Why extreme? Why did we come up with that name? Well, let's face it. We have an extreme problem. We live in an extreme environment. We have extreme problems when this rust gets the best of these. That's why we came up with the name Extreme. So you need to trust Extreme, trust us at Champlain Chevrolet. Why? We've been in the business our whole life. Nobody knows this industry better than us. We see the rust problems. We see the sadness in your face when there's a state inspection problem and you have to get that expensive rust repair. We've seen the times when your vehicle is financed for so long so you can afford it. And we understand how that works more than anybody else. And when the time comes and you come back to trade in that vehicle, and the first thing we do is start talking about rust holes, we want to be able to take the best care of you can. We want you to protect your investment the best you can. So think of us, Extreme Undercoating by Champlain Chevrolet.